This a pass the mark now. I don't think this not really, man. We don't even get consulted or anything and decide about this kind of what they call it, development or what kind, you know. I mean, well, I don't call it development, especially if the gas station didn't put up there, you know, because we get all the odor from the gas, man, and that's dangerous to we, right?
We need development in Belize, but good, legal, safe development. Well, we have our ocean here with all of our fish that our fishermen get our fish from. We go and we bathe. It's how many feet? 50, 100 feet from there. Back here we have all these homes here. It's common sense that a fuel tank right in the middle is not safe.
The location is a bad one because environmentally it's not sound. We got 60 feet from the waterfront. So the government took part of the road. So 60 feet from the waterfront falls where? And the worst part is they don't hire locals. They do not hire local people. So why are we giving them all this privilege over us? It's not fair. It's not right. Whoever is making the decision in this country, I think they should sit down and rethink. 4 gas stations we have in PG. We don't need another one. The population is too small to have all of these gas stations. Now, my belief in my heart is what the Chinese man is trying to do is put the locals out of business. Because when he come and he cut the gas price, all of we go run to the Chinese man because we getting a little change in our pocket. Then Uno, Caribbean Tire, Uno and Big Falls, they're all going to go under.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the people who came out today. This is a true indication that people do care about this town, and the residents of this area are very concerned about this development. The Department of Environment has been acting illegally. The Central Building Authority has come down here. We have not heard from them as yet. It's just kind of frustrating to watch all the laws being broken when the ordinary Belizean who want to build have to follow every environmental and CBA regulation, yet these Chinese developers, they do not have to follow these regulations. People are tired of it. This development is in an area that's very sensitive. It's right next to the sea, it's right next to residences. Like, they have no regard for the people who live in this area. We are standing up for justice. We are not against development, we just want that the laws be followed. How can you put a gas station so close to homes? How can you put a gas station so close to the sea that feed us Belizeans? We can't eat gas. We need to be concerned about this kind of development, and the people are taking a stand. Well, look, right here they dig a hole less than 5 feet and they're already running into salt water. Salt water, you can see the water right there. So how can this be environmentally friendly?
Additionally, after many failed attempts to get concrete answers as to what is really happening at the Y, GOB's engineer Stansmore Caetano gave us his insight about the status of this development.
Residents are asking, what is your role and responsibilities when it comes to this development?
My primary role is to ensure that all plans are reviewed in accordance to whatever standard or code is being it is governed by, no? And most importantly, it is to verify that the Department of the Environment did their assessment and everything.
We noticed that a stop order was issued several months ago. We have seen that construction engaged again.
Okay, the initial stop order was granted because they were not constructing according to plan. A part of the stipulation was that they had to resubmit, they had to demolish. A document was issued that required them to demolish the entire structure that they had erected that was contrary to plans, and they had to restart. In restarting, they had to regain approval from the Department of the Environment and resubmit that to the building unit in order for them to commence. A lawyer was was engaged to conduct these matters on their behalf, and they were able to meet those stipulations, and the stop order was lifted under some very strict conditions. And rest assured, there are many things that will be reviewed moving forward. At the Y, for example, they're subject to random spot checks. They are subjected to, they have to inform the billing unit of what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it. So
with all that, with the validation that you got to look at, one of the question is when it comes to the building codes, in particularly or specifically the tanks, where it's going to be located. Is it in the right area? Does it have the right amount of space from any residential area, from the street? These are the questions that people want to know if it had met the criteria or the validation or for this to happen.
Now, when it comes to tanks, storage, anything about the fuel, that is where the Department of the Environment and the energy sector comes into play. They would have had to have gotten clearances from these people before they could have done that. These people, Department of the Environment would have come down, they would have gotten their surveys, they would have done their measurements, and they would have done their assessment to verify and ensure that in fact this is the place in which it must be. Now, if the Department of the Environment gives their approval or their no objection to this to whatever is there, then that approval supersedes what I may think, and I would have had to, if I had any complaints, I would have had to make it to the Department of the Environment, and they would advise me that, this is what the situation is. But once they get that clearance, and once that clearance comes in front of me, that is what is said.
In regards to the site itself, isn't it or shouldn't it be public knowledge, or I should say, about any development taking place of such magnitude? Shouldn't there be a sign or kind of town or resident access to see the plan for the site or the construction?
Bear in mind that this is a private development. It would be something similar as if a hotel was going up. You can't, for security purposes, you can't really share the plans,
okay,
the floor plans and all of that stuff. The most you'd be able to see would be a 3D render of what's going there and what should be there and what the external part of this building would look like. This entire why here is a case study of what the powers of the limitations of the powers of the technical manager, what we can and what we cannot do.